Welcome back to the Simplified Integration Podcast. This is episode number 27, Regenerative Medicine for the Spine, Hips, and Small Joints.
Leonardo da Vinci once said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, and I agree. You see, the problem with the way that most consulting groups approach medical integration is anything but simple. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's expensive, it's complicated, and quite frankly, it's exhausting. Enough is enough. There are far too many amazing integrated clinics that are struggling. Well, I'm on a mission to change that. What I've come to find from over 5 years working with integrated practices is that simplicity really is the secret. The old saying of less is more is true. Through a streamlined approach, I was able to create multiple successful 7-figure integrated clinics, and now I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Join me as I share with you the secrets to successful medical integration and practice growth. Join me on a journey to greater sophistication through innovation. I'm Dr. Andrew Wells, and welcome to the Simplified Integration Podcast.
All right, Doc, I got a doozy for you this time. So here's a nugget, and I thought everybody knew this. Everybody doing regenerative medicine knew this, but I realized that not everybody knows this, and if you don't know what I'm about to tell you, you're going to kick yourself for not figuring this out earlier. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's been doing regenerative medicine for a while, and I mentioned to him, we started talking about regenerative medicine for the spine, and he's like, well, how are you doing that? I'm like, what do you mean, how am I doing that? And he said, well, we just do it for the knees and shoulders. So you're doing it for the spine? I said, yeah, we do it for the spine, we do it for the hips, we do it for wrists, ankles, toes. He goes, well, does your nurse practitioner know how to do those injections? I'm like, no, we send those injections out. He's like, what the heck are you talking about? So with regenerative medicine, if you're in a typical MD, DC practice and you have a nurse practitioner doing exams and injections, chances are you're doing basically like 2 or 3 types of injections. You're doing knees, you're doing shoulders, and you may be doing soft tissue injections in the muscle and ligaments. However, there is a huge population of patients who want regenerative medicine in areas other than those body parts. So with our advertising, what we typically find is that if you're doing like a general regenerative medicine type ad, the people who respond, you get about 60% people having trouble with knees, you get about 20 to 25% lower back, and then the rest of the joints you get like a mix of shoulders, hips, wrists, ankles, we've even had thumbs, big toes, elbow occasionally. And so you get a hodgepodge of other types of joints. And so my buddy was turning down all of the spine, hip, and small joint patients because his nurse practitioner couldn't do those injections. And so here's what we did. Here's how we overcame that issue, is that for the more complicated injections, we send those out to a pain management clinic or like an interventional pain doc to do the procedure for us. So everything is the same. We do our advertising, we do our patient education, we do the case management, our office collects the money, and then everything is the same. We do the diagnosis and then recommendations. So everything is the same as a knee or shoulder patient up until that point. However, once they pay for the injection, instead of doing it in our office, we just pay a pain management doc to do the injection for us. So we'll have the patient go to their office, that doctor, MD or DO, will do the injection and we're done. And we follow up with the patient after that. So if you're turning away those patients because you can't do those injections in your office, that's how you do it. And so we pay the doctor a pretty nominal fee to do those injections. So it's fair for us, it's fair for the doctor. But most pain management docs are more than happy to collect a cash fee. So we pay that office directly a cash fee to do the actual injection. So we don't want to do facet injections and spine injections and hip injections in our office because those types of injections have to be a lot more accurate. There's a lot more obviously sensitive tissues that you could poke with a needle in your intra-articular hip or in your spine that you don't want to take, in my opinion, don't want to take on that liability. However, if you have like fluoroscopy, if you have an MD, if you have the equipment in your office in case something bad happens during the injection, by all means do those. But it's much, much, much easier to create a relationship with a pain management doc, refer those patients to them for the procedure, and then pay them a flat fee for each injection. So that's how you do it. So now if you've limited yourself to knees and shoulders, now you can remove those barriers and you can see patients for all types of osteoarthritic conditions for regenerative medicine. So if you're already doing this, good for you. If you're not doing this, I'm really happy that you tuned in. When we figured this out, this literally added hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue to our practice because we now opened up the scope of practice with regenerative medicine within our office. So I hope I just fed you a nugget that you weren't aware of. If so, you're very welcome. That's what you get when you tune into the podcast. So if you have any questions, this is a super short podcast episode, but I just want to deliver some amazing content and value to you guys. And if you have any questions, want to reach out, my email address is info@integrationsecrets.com, info@integrationsecrets.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Hey, innovators. Thanks for listening to the Simplified Integration Podcast. The fact that you're listening tells me that you're like me, someone who loves simplicity. And the truth is, those who embrace simplicity are some of the greatest innovators. So I hope you got a ton of value from what we covered on today's episode. Be sure to subscribe and share with other docs that you feel could benefit from greater sophistication through simplification and innovation. If you've got specific questions that you'd like answered on this podcast, or you've got specific topics that you'd like me to discuss, just shoot me an email at info@integrationsecrets.com. That's info@integrationsecrets.com.